The Asch Conformity experiments. One of the characteristic phenomena of human society is conformism. Studies of this phenomenon have been conducted for a long time, and one of them was a series of experiments conducted by the American psychologist Solomon Asch. An article about the study was published in 1951. The psychologist Asch aimed to understand whether one person can resist the majority opinion, even if it contradicts the apparent facts. Students were invited to participate in an experiment called the vision test. Each subject was placed together with 7 similar students. These 7 were decoy actors. The group was then shown 2 cards, one with a vertical line and the other with 3 other lines, one of which was the same length as on the first card. All participants were asked to determine which of the 3 lines on the second card coincided in length with the line on the first. The participants took turns expressing their views, with the subject's opinion being asked last. There were 18 stages. In the early 2 sets, all the participants named the correct answers. Starting with the 3rd stage, the actors started calling the same answer, but the wrong one. Asch found that 75% of the subjects obeyed the majority opinion and gave a deliberately incorrect answer at least at one of the stages. In the future, the experiment became more complicated. The actors began to provide different solutions, even if they were wrong. Eventually, the percentage of errors on the part of the subjects was sharply reduced. They were less likely to obey the majority. It was found that the number of errors of the subjects depends on how categorically the third opinion is expressed. Asch's finding from the social psychology point of view meant that when the subject's answer contradicts the majority opinion, he feels uncomfortable, even if his answer is correct. Thus, a person is afraid not so much to make a mistake but afraid to be criticized by others. Asch interpreted the results, stating that 2 primary reasons could explain conformity. The first is that man is by nature a herd creature. Thus, it is essential for an ordinary person to match the group to which he belongs, normative influence. Another reason states that the average person knows that their perception organs are imperfect so that they can show incorrect information. Therefore, a person checks his opinion with others' opinions because it is unlikely that many people in a row have common problems with perception, informational influence. The finding relates to the social psychological theory of self-categorization, which highlighted that the observed conformity results from depersonalization when people expect to have the same views as others in their internal group and adopt those views as their own. There can be real-life implications of these findings and several things that people can learn from. For instance, the necessity to use an individual's opinion and not rely on others to make a decision under social pressure. At the same time, Asch's experiments were substantially criticized by analysts, who emphasized the impossibility to scale results on all people. It was suggested that Asch used a biased sample of males only of similar age in a group, whose results can be generalized. Furthermore, the experiment used an artificial task to judge lines' length. Thus, the experiment used low-validity tasks that cannot constitute real-life conformity situations. Finally, psychologists stated that some of the subjects could express external agreement with the majority opinion not because of conformity but because they wanted to maintain and avoid conflict. To conclude, one can state that Asch's experiments went down in the history of social psychology as one of the most famous. Even today, it inspires many researchers in the field of group behavior to continue working. This research has given important insights into how, when, and why people imitate a group and the effects of social pressure on a person's behavior.